looks like.
Have you ever thought about dropping out of college? 23.3% of college students leave their college or university every year. Many of them have some pretty valid reasons. Grades are slipping, you change interests, financial reasons, you got stuff going on at home. But only one student has dropped out of college because of a trip to Saturn. Herman Poole Blount claims that in 1936, while in a state of religious concentration, a beam of light surrounded him and he was teleported to the planet Saturn. Now, Blount says, "My whole body changed into something else. I could see through myself, and I went up. I wasn't in human form. I landed on a planet that I identified as Saturn. They teleported me, and I was down on a stage with them. They wanted to talk with me. They had one little antenna on each ear, a little antenna over each eye. They talked to me. They told me to stop attending college because there was going to be great trouble in schools. The world was going into complete chaos, and I would speak through music, and the world would listen. That's what they told me." Now, I believe him. That sounds, yeah. Now, this may be one of the earliest accounts of extraterrestrial contact in United States history. Because this is in 1936. This is years before Roswell, years before Betty and Barney Hill. So, the idea of UFOs at this time hasn't really hit the radar. After this event, though, he had a newfound devotion to music. He dedicated his life to it and began experimenting with different styles of jazz and pop and playing with many different jazz bands. Then in 1945, his great aunt Ida passes away, and he has no reason to stay in Alabama anymore. So he moves to Chicago. Here in Chicago, he starts playing with a bunch of different jazz bands and meeting a bunch of local musicians and begins to kind of make a name for himself. And then eventually in 1952, he legally changed his name to Le Sonneur Ra, which everybody just calls him Sun Ra. I think it's like calling Michael Mike or Richard Dick. How do you get Dick from Richard? You ask nicely. And legally changing his name is really significant in his life because this shows him gaining a new level of self-esteem, self-awareness. During all these years, he's playing and writing and recording and playing with all these different bands and musicians. But sometime in the 1950s, him and his friend Alton Abraham created an independent record label called El Saturn Records. Now, El Saturn Records is the record label that records all of Sun Ra's records. His entire discography goes through there. And at this point, Sun Ra has gathered a loyal group of band members who is referred to as the Orchestra. The Orchestra defines themselves here in the 1950s because they wear these outlandish outfits that are very much heavily inspired by Egyptian culture and the space age. Sun Ra and the Orchestra defining themselves through these outfits, it gave them a recognizable look and a new identity. And this is the identity that Sun Ra and the Orchestra carry through all the years. Eventually, Sun Ra and the Orchestra moved from Chicago to New York, and they lived communally. These frogs are really loud. As time went on, the band began to gain recognition for their Monday night gigs at Slug Saloon. Eventually, though, they do have to move to Philadelphia because the rent was getting too high. In Philadelphia, the general base of operations became Sun Ra's new house, which eventually became referred to as the Orchestral Institute of Sun Ra, which people refer to your house as that. That's, don't even call it a crib. Don't even call it a crib. Just come to the Orchestral Institute of Sun Ra. Oh, man. Dude, I got a wood tick on me right now. I'm wearing shorts. Yeah, wood ticks suck. Hopefully I don't get Lyme's disease or something. Then in 1968, everything kind of took off. Sun Ra toured the West Coast. They hit up France, Germany, and the United Kingdom in the 70s. Sun Ra was even an artist in residence at University of California, Berkeley, and even taught a course for a semester. He went to Egypt. He had TV interviews. He even had a feature film called Space is the Place. And they continued to tour through all the 80s and 90s. Then in 1990, Sun Ra had a stroke, but continued to play with the band and continued to play until the day of his death on May 30th, 1993. Now, something else that happened on May 30th, 1993 is a blind climber named Joni Phelps, after being pinned by a blizzard for 4 days, became the first blind person to reach the summit of Denali. North America's tallest mountain, guided by her twin sons. That's not even related to Sun Ra. That's just insane. Sun Ra's orchestra continues to perform today, and their last performance was in 2021. Sun Ra led a long and successful career. Through his career, he came out with over 100 studio albums and a discography of over 1,000 songs. With him being so dedicated to his music, he was recording all the time. So even today, people are coming out and they're finding these recordings, these lost recordings, or even like unknown, like people don't even know these things exist. They're finding recordings, audio interviews that were lost, photos of Sun Ra that were lost. If we were to count Sun Ra's unofficial releases, he would have over 200 studio albums and still well over 1,000 songs. And so a lot of these things are being recorded and kept in the Sun Ra archive. But on UbuWeb, we can find a long track list of experimental jazz pop with Sun Ra reciting poetry over top of the music. There's a recording of one of his speeches from UCal Berkeley, from the course that he taught, that you can find on UbuWeb too, which is pretty cool. Now, with all that being said, I would like to introduce you to some of my favorite tracks that can be found on UbuWeb. Take it away. Dude, my voice keeps cracking when I'm saying Sun Ra's name. Take it away, Sun Ra. Take it away.
It just breaks me all up, man. It just breaks me all up. I just can't understand it. Can't understand a damn bit of it. Like, man, I gotta get away from them. I gotta get away from them before they mess up my mind. Before they take my soul, man, I just gotta get away and blast off in my rocket ship. I come from a better place than this. Why in the hell am I here for? I'm here to keep up with the pricks. And all the narrow-minded hoodlums. All the big talkers and big money makers and rackets and all these pricking squares around. Hell no. I gotta blast away. I gotta get away, man. I gotta blast off like a super Megatron rocket on electrodynamic radiation. Can't stand it, man. I gotta get away. All these pricks are messing up my mind. All the long cars and all the big green money. They can take it and shove it. People been giving me the shaft for ages. People ain't nothing but a bunch of hoodlums. Ain't nothing but a bunch of pricking gangsters, that's all they are. The only thing they understand is a shotgun shell. Well, boy, I got it waiting for them. I got a super Megatron bomb waiting for them. If they keep pushing me, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get it like electrodynamic radiation on a super hydromagnetic strawberry patch.
Will that change? I'm not to blame. And if I am to blame, then what? Will that change things? Will that change the course of the world, the important things? I am not to blame, but if I am, I acknowledge it and only say, it is lamentable to bear blame and not share it, to feel blame, and no one could not avoid the thing that led to it. Birds without wings are they unaware there are no wings where wings should be? Birds without wings, poised, intense, take off, sailing, at last they drop to earth. Are they hurt, bruised, bewildered, angry? They rush to the takeoff place again, poised, tensed, ready, go.